I think I should do this too, but you guys are gonna know what to do once I do it. Give me a sec. Okay, it should come right about now. Yeah, you guys can see me, right? Everybody, let's do this. I mean, like, it's been a minute. We should turn on our camera. Yeah. You guys are not gonna let me, like, be alone in this, right? Hopefully. I am gonna be waiting. Okay, madam, that's OBS's. Bro, how are you? Yeah,
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Joshua, Leka, how about the rest of you guys? Come on. This is like, come on. We do have our heads in the meeting too, and I do expect them to turn on their camera. Which head do we have? We have Niam and we have Yabzaga. Let's turn on our camera so that we can get this started as we have our commander in chief in the room. So yeah, the rest of you guys, let's turn on our camera. Let me. I think I should present my screen, right? Or else, how are you gonna know what we're talking about today? Um, Let me just do that, and then uh, okay, a minute. Let me present my screen. Okay. My internet seems to be slow, which is which is a new thing. Maybe let me try to reconnect it. Shall I? Where is my? Yeah. Sorry. Let me let me try to do this again. O- Okay. 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 Mm, okay. Yep. Figured it out. I mean, I didn't figure it out. The internet itself figured it out, but I like to take credits every once in a while. So this is the long. I would like drum rolls, right? This is the long-awaited kickoff of the secondary remote education here at A2SV. Thank you everyone for taking the time to make it, and I promise it's gonna be worth your while, everybody. Um, so um, so I think it's been a minute since. For those of you guys who don't know me, this is Firaul Ibrahim. I think if you were in G5 first year education, you must know me because I do like to make noise every now and then. So you do know me. But if you don't, Firao Ibrahim, remote education head here at A2SV, and yeah, I think that says enough about me. And mm, I, okay, but let's follow it here, and then I will send it. I don't think uh, or maybe one of the other heads can send it there. Maybe perhaps Agar Bini. If you guys can, maybe send it. But with that being said, this is gonna be our kickoff for the second year education here at UTSV, remote specifically. And as you guys know, this has been this has been long in the making. We've had to postpone it for reasons that you guys all know, with fundings not coming as expected, and then after that we had to do some restructuring of the heads, so that we could have enough manpower to commence this. But now, thankfully, everything looks like it's taking its place, and now the longer winter kickoff is gonna be here. And let's look at what we're gonna be talking about today, what you guys can expect in the coming weeks, months of this education. That being said, maybe let's look at what we're gonna be covering tonight. So we're gonna start our kickoff with an opening speech from Emre. You guys all know him, our founder and CEO. We're gonna follow that up with an explanation of what you guys can expect from APC secondary education and what it is, what it is composed of, and yeah, what's not. And then we're gonna be talking about the important things, which are gonna be education tracks of secondary education, of what you can expect from each track and stuff. And then we're gonna talk about what phases we're gonna have as we go on. And then, yeah, I think this thing is weird. Like the sequence numbers are kind of weird, but we are gonna be following that up with the stats, some important stats that we'd like to share with you guys, and then we're gonna be having an experience sharing with our very own Henon. I think she's here. You guys can see her. We're gonna be telling you guys a bit about who she is, and why we actually chose her to be our experience share for tonight. Following that up with any questions that you guys have. I myself and the other heads, we're gonna try. Henon herself, we're gonna try to answer your questions, and then we're gonna be having a closing remark with a special guest. So let's keep that um, closed, or like a surprise until it comes up. But this is how it's gonna go. To start everything off, as I said, let's have an opening speech from our Commander in Chief, Emre. Emre, I hope you're around, right?
Yes, Fran. Thank you very much. So, Tim, I want to start with a story because while Firal was making the introduction, I don't know if you have noticed, first my background was dark because the power was off. Like, what can I do, right? We can only do what we can do given circumstances. But then what happened? While we were patiently waiting, the power came back. So now you can see me better. I can do a lot more, right? Charge my laptop, phone, get work done. So many things can be enabled again. So one lesson to take from this is the importance of power. So it is important to make sure our system is going to be reliable and have power. But Tim, another thing to see in this, if you are really passionate about something, you would be there when the power is on or off. If you're not passionate about that, you may be there when the power is on. So there is something positive when the power is off. This is a perspective. When things are not looking very positive, you can actually ask yourself, hey, what is the positive in this? Because believe it or not, but even for your parents' death, for our parents' death, because if we are lucky, we are going to see the deaths of our parents. This is a sour truth about life. The other two possibilities, you dying together or you dying earlier than parents. So in that regard, what I would recommend to all of us to see that if some people are here given circumstances, these people are here regardless whether the power is on or off. So these people are passionate about what we do here. We are training each other to get better technically in terms of data structures, algorithms, problem solving in the first year. And in the second year, product management, UI UX design, mobile development, backend development, front-end development. These are the current tracks. And we would be happy to add more in the future with more resources. So we try to give each other soft skills. Firal, how do you feel about your communication skills at the moment, brother? Like, do you feel relaxed when you are talking to people?
As you guys see, especially if you see me around the office, or as you can see when I lead meetings and stuff, I actually tend to not be able to stop speaking. So yeah, I mean, it's getting better.
Beautiful. And like, can we tell that as you do this more, you feel even more comfortable? You start optimizing further, you get better and better because you are doing it.
Yeah, of course, it compounds. It's like it feels like it's compounding. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the case for everybody. Meaning, if you do that, if you take the opportunity, then you are going to sharpen these soft skills as well. And right now, you have the opportunity to get a leadership in your project, in your sub teams. And when you do it, this is going to make you even more fitter than anybody else for those higher level roles. So I hope people understand that we talk about soft skills, soft skills, soft skills. How do you develop soft skills? By applying them. And you apply them with responsibility. So second year education at A2SV is the simulation of the company environment. When you join a company, there will be a similar structure. There will be sub-teams, there will be team leaders, there will be daily meetings. You are going to write some documentation. You are going to do very deep code reviews. You are going to test your code. Like for the idea, first the product management work is going to be done. And then the PRDs are going to be converted into user flows and user interfaces. And then that plan is going to be given to the engineers. The engineers are going to build the MVP. It will start getting tested with some alpha users, beta users. When it sees some engagement, it is going to go to the later stages. You will have a soft launch. Once you see great engagement, you will have the public launch. So all these things are going to start today or tonight, this evening. Now you have the opportunity to make this a success with your teammates who are here to build digital technologies for the benefit of African people and businesses. Firal, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there any other objective in this? Like, is there anything that is harmful for people? Anything that is in the gray area?
No, no.
And
Everything.
everybody chooses.
Yeah.
You are going to choose the project idea, you are going to choose the track. Of course, we are also going to consider the necessities of our organization and the projects. Like if everybody wants to become a backend engineer, we may not be able to satisfy that. And in reality, this is not happening. Like in reality, we are capable of placing 80-something% of people to their first choices. So tracks have already been chosen. Now it's going to be more about project choices. And after that, you will have the chance to build something with all these great people that you already get to know. There will be some new people as well. Be open. Grow. Like when you put your hand on your heart, how many great people did you meet at A2SV? Like you can give a ballpark number. You don't have to give me an exact number. Like I'm just trying to see, is it handful number of great people that you get to know?
Well, it I actually can't actually put a number on it, but maybe in the ballpark of maybe 50s around people. The ones that I know, but the ones that I know very closely, like 10, 15 people that I actually like spending time with.
That's really great. And I want, like, since you are in the second year, you have seen the first year. I want you to ask yourself, how many great people did you get to know? So now with some of those people and with some other people's favorites, because yeah, when there is a new person, you cannot love somebody you don't know. First, you need to get to know. And in time, you can get to know. And after that, you can love. You can do great things together. So now we have the opportunity. If we stick together, the power is going to come back. It is about to. But it's very important that we stick together, whether the power is there or not. Because that's the attitude that comes from passion, that comes from ambition. And that is the attitude that is going to bring success. So in that regard, I am very happy to see everybody in this room because you are here. Because you are here when, for A2SV, the power is off. But you are here for the mission. You're not here for me. You're not here for only yourself. You are not only here for your peers, but you are here for the mission. Because we know that so many people in Africa can benefit from technology. This has happened in the other continents. Many problems have been solved with the help of technology. And we can do the same. You can do it. I cannot do that. You can solve Africa's problems. I can help you. I can enable you to solve Africa's problems. And that's what I'm doing, guys. And now this is your time to make those solutions for these great people. Now there is generative AI. Now coding is a lot easier, faster. And together we can learn how to utilize it better. We can look at different tools. We can share best practices with each other. And we can build great things faster. Building is now a lot faster because we have generative AI. So please see the opportunity, take responsibility and shine. I trust this team. I trust our mission. I trust our capability of fulfilling our mission. So in that regard, team, I really wish all of us a great second year because this is the time that you are becoming a real software engineer. The first year you have learned how to open the door, how to pass interviews, but you haven't learned effective software engineering. And now this is your official opportunity to learn effective software engineering. Thank you very much for having me. And Firal, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Emre, for that engaging speech. And as he said, currently you guys are choosing to be here, and that actually shows how much you value what we're doing here. APSCV, I always used to say, and I still do, APSCV is more than how we try to describe it. It touches lives in more ways than we can you can actually imagine, and the fact that you guys are here actually justifies we what what the whole team is trying to do. So thank you for being here, and thank you, as Emre said, thank you for being here for the cause. With that being said, and again, thank you for Emre for that opening speech. I would like to continue our kickoff. Moving on, let's talk about A2SV a bit. I mean, you guys are probably, you guys probably know a lot about A2SV at this point, right? I mean, we've been talking about A2SV a lot, but it doesn't hurt to reiterate, right? It never hurts. So A2SV upskills potential Africans and then connects them with opportunities at top tech companies around the world. You guys know this. And with that, in addition to that, it creates digital solutions to urgent problems here in their home countries and in their home continent. This has become evident. The former has become evident with people that we had placed in the big names in technology right now, and then the latter is being realized right now by the products that have been in the process of being built here at A2SV. So you guys do know what A2SV is trying to do. Um, so with that being said, we have A2SVians all over the world to be as a memorial of what we're trying to do here at A2SV. We have a lot of people around the world, all over the continent, here in Africa, Europe mainly, back in the US, everywhere. So we do have A2SVians as a show of what we're trying to do and what's possible. As stats, we're currently standing at 100 stats, 100 offers, and as a placement, we do have 21 placements at Google, 9 at Bloomberg, 4 at Amazon, 2 at Palantir, Databricks twice, 2 people at Databricks, and 1 person at LinkedIn. So numbers are increasing, numbers are a lot, but as always, we can do better. We can always do better. Having said that, let's talk about what we're trying to do this after this kickoff, right? About especially secondary education. Mainly, we're going to be trying to talk about tracks specifically. So here in the secondary education at A2SV, we do have 5 main tracks. These tracks are namely product team, product track, following that up with UI UX team, and then mobile team, web team, and last but not least, backend team. A lot of you guys might actually work in two separate teams, especially you guys might work in product team and mobile team, UI UX team, and then web team, UI UX team, and the ones that are gonna be the backbone of our product. All of them are gonna be backbones, but the ones that you guys are gonna be spending your most time with across the secondary education are gonna be the last 3. But especially earlier on, you guys are gonna be doing most of the work in the product and UI UX teams. That being said, all of them are very important and all of them are gonna be covered during our lectures. Moving on, so A2SV secondary program is gonna have the following 5 phases. So we're talking about the tracks that we have. Let's talk about phases. So we're gonna be starting things off with the product development track. What this is, we're gonna be talking about each of them in detail, but just to give you guys the gist of what it means. Product development track is we wanted to have it earlier on or at the initial point of our education, because for you guys to be able to build the best products you guys can build, you guys need to be equipped in, or you guys need to know what products are, what goes into product development, and what goes into coming up with the best requirement, functional requirement, the best user story, the best UI UX for your product, and the best product plan, the best rollout plan, the best everything that goes into product development, which is a lot of times overlooked by developers, but it actually can be a very helpful skill to have if you guys are thinking of building a full-fledged product. So we're gonna be spending some time on product development track. Then now that you guys know how what goes into product development, we're gonna follow that up with lectures that are gonna equip you with the skills or the knowledge of what you're gonna need to know to realize the product that you envisioned while designing your product. This is gonna include the tools that you're gonna use to collaborate with your teams, like GitHub for task tracking and code version controlling. Sorry. So we're gonna learn about how best to test your code, how best to debug your code, how best to make sure that your code runs smoothly in all environments by using containers, Docker. We're gonna follow that up with a new topic, not a new topic, but a new topic in secondary education, um, Kubernetes, in relation with orchestration of images and stuff. And then we're gonna talk about how we can test our code. I've said that. Next up, you guys are gonna be collaborating, and the code that you write might actually need to be understood by a new developer that comes along later on. So how do you document your process so that a new developer or a new team member comes along and has an easier time getting onboarded or with your product, right? So we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff here. There's gonna be a lot of not dense, but a lot of back-to-back lectures here. So stay tuned for that. Following that up, it's gonna be learning the tracks that you guys choose and you guys are gonna be assigned to. So now that we've covered the product development, we're gonna be taking the time to learn the rest of the tracks, namely the web track, backend track, mobile track, and UI UX track. We're gonna have a learning pause of a few weeks so that you guys are gonna know the most important skill. We're gonna be providing you guys with the resources, but here as heads of education, we're not gonna be involved with a lot as in lectures, but we're gonna be there helping you guys learn, because as you all know, you guys are all software engineers, so you guys have an idea of how coding works, so or how learning of a framework works. So we're gonna give you guys the resources specific to the frameworks that we're gonna use in our products, and then you guys are gonna take your time to learn those frameworks, and we're gonna be here to lend you a hand whenever you need. So after spending some time in the learning pause, the best way to test what you're learning is gonna be with a project, right? So any software engineer to learn something, not even to verify what he or she learned, to actually learn what we do is we do have a startup project to get you guys understanding, or to give you guys the tools or a situation where you guys can actually experiment with what you learned during the learning part. So we're gonna give you guys a PRD, a UI UX work, which you guys might actually need to work concurrently with the startup project. So while coding, you guys are gonna be collaborating on the UI UX as it goes, because some of you guys are gonna be part of the UI UX learning path, right? So we're gonna be covering those, and then during the startup project, you guys might actually end up collaborating with different tracks, like the web team might interact with the backend team and stuff. So you guys are gonna learn how collaboration works with respect to product development, right? So we're gonna be doing that. Following that up with main projects development after UI UX approval. So we do have the project ideas kind of in the process of being chosen. By the time that we get into the main project development, we're gonna have a solid understanding of the products that we or you guys are gonna be building with the leadership that we're gonna provide, and then after that you guys are gonna collaborate on having a good UI UX that's gonna be approved, and after that approval we're heading directly into development, or alongside it we're gonna be moving into development. So you guys are gonna be writing a lot of heavy code, and there's gonna be a lot of code review, PR review, a lot of testing, a lot of CI/CD that goes into it, and there's gonna be a lot of collaboration in general. So those are the phases in short. I know that wasn't short, but as I said, in the product development track, the major activities we're gonna talk about are gonna brainstorming and researching projects impact. So the project that you guys are gonna build, creating a roadmap with goals and timelines, gathering and structuring requirements. After finishing the product track, people with interest in the UI UX will start their respective track, and are gonna be better equipped to know how they're gonna be building the UI UX for the respective products they're gonna be assigned with. Then technical product development lectures. Here we're gonna be attending lectures on technical concepts and software development best practices, learn from industry experts, and engage and discuss and ask questions and discuss between amongst yourselves on how to best use these tools and how to best use these best practices to smoothen out your development experience. Moving on, as I said, there's gonna be tracks, and before that, we're gonna be having a time where you guys are gonna be submitting your project preferences. We're gonna follow that up with getting placed with the team based on our interests and strengths. We're gonna have some sort of assessment here, and understanding your team's roles and responsibilities is gonna be what you guys are gonna do during your learning path, alongside your actual technical learning path. And finally, as I said, pass the technical assessment of your chosen tech stack. That's gonna be important. And then a starter project is here. We're gonna be working on a small scale project related to your track, and then you guys are gonna be receiving feedbacks, and you guys are gonna improve on your coding skills as we go. And then you guys are gonna get feedback from each other and from us too, or from better software engineers, more software engineers, I should say. Then the main product development. This is gonna be done concurrently with lectures. Learn how to write effective user stories. You guys are gonna be equipped with those. Define key features and functionalities. This is gonna be important. Organize the stories into priorities for development. So each story. So if you have a user story that's gonna depend on a user logging in, so the user actually logging in, that user story has to be prioritized, right? So we're gonna be learning how to prioritize and give sequences, priority sequences for user stories, so that there's gonna be a smooth development experience. So after that, we're gonna be following that up with main project UI UX development, research and explore UI UX best practices, and industry best practices, and A2SV best practices, and then design wireframes and prototypes of our products. So the product that you guys are gonna have, depending on your preferences, and get feedback and iterate on them after iteration and improving on our designs. We're gonna be getting our approval, and then we're gonna be moving on with those. After that, after getting the approval, we're gonna be having the actual product development, right? Finalizing and approving UI UX designs, start coding based on assigned development tasks that's gonna be assigned by your leads and your peers. Set up version control and CI/CD workflow so that everything goes as smoothly as possible on GitHub and the different CI/CD frameworks. With that being said, we're gonna be having a minute for a section for experience for questions. But for now, let's have experience sharing from the people that we have. I don't know. I believe Henon is in the meeting, right? Yes, she's in the meeting. Henon, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so Henon is our very own. We're actually from the same generation. This is G4 in person program here at A2SV. She's a former software engineering intern at Google. I believe she just got back actually. So I'm gonna later introduce herself and her experience here at A2SV and her general experience being a software engineer at Google, a student at A2SV, and yeah, Henon, the stage is yours.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. And I think you asked a lot of questions, like just once. And but yeah, my name is Hinan, as you said, and I'm a software engineer. I'm an A2SV, and um, I don't know, can you say the questions like separately because like there were kind of a lot.
Okay, yeah, I feel like I bombarded you with a lot of questions. So maybe let's start with your experience as a student here at UTSV.
Okay, so when it comes to my experience at A2SV, like I started out like by learning DSA for the first year, and then I did like the second year education. So my overall experience was great, and not just great to be honest. It's something that I didn't expect when I joined college, and I would say like it was the best thing to happen to me in college. Yeah, and
Okay,
it was
cool. So I think you continued your second year education at UTSV, right?
yes.
So maybe apart from the day sitting that you got to experience during your year education, I think on the second year you got to see how products are developed on larger scale and how collaborations happen between a lot of people. So maybe can you tell us about a bit about how you experienced that and how it was?
Okay. So since like we're in the opening of like the second year education, I'm sure like you had the experience of the first year education, and I'm sure you've seen like how smart people, how smart and dedicated people are in this community, and then what makes like the second year different from that, and what made it different for me, and I'm sure what will make it different for you will be is that you're going to see how software is going how software is developed like formally, how the product description like is done formally, and how actually in like big tech companies. And I think it gave me a lot of exposure because like I've never seen somewhere like this organized. After I've personally like tried to do internship like in a local company, but I've never seen like this kind of organization when it comes to like the learning path where you're being tracked down by people, and you also get motivated to learn it because you can see the progress of your peers. And at the same time, it's not just learning, you're learning, and at the same time you have exercises to do. And those exercises are not just exercises, they are kind of preparing you for the bigger picture for doing real life project. And when it comes to the project, you get to learn a lot of stuff. Like he said, version control. And if you already know them, it will be a time for you to become really adept uh, with those tools. Jira for, I think, tracking, and you're going to learn a lot of new stuffs. And it's not about just about the new stuffs, but it's also about the people that you'll get to meet. You'll meet a lot of people with like experience, and like you get to ask them questions. I think we also had the opportunity to be mentored by core dev members. I don't know if that's the case now, but that was like a really great opportunity because like you get to ask people how they do this, and if you have some kind of problem, they get to help you. So I think, yeah, that was my experience in second year education in at SV.
Okay, awesome. Then after that, Google came, right? So can you maybe like walk us through how the like your interview, how was your journey to find yourself as an intern at Google? How did that happen?
Um, so how did that happen? Actually, it was through A2SV. So uh, I'm sure you know that A2SV provides you like with like opportunities in big tech companies to apply at, and I with my friends like applied to many companies. I don't remember how many, but like bunch of companies, and then I happened to hear from like Google, and then I got this interview, and then I was like, oh, maybe I didn't even thought like it was gonna work. I mean, and then I tried it, and then they said I mean, they have three interviews for interns. That's what I know, and then I passed the first one, and I didn't thought it was real until it happened. But yeah, it's basically the interview is basically about what you learned like throughout the first year education, and it probably I'm sure the questions would appear normal to any ATSVNs because of the the work that was put through us, I guess. And yeah, and that was the interview process. Three interviews. They say normal. They say questions. I don't think I can expose like what kind of questions there were, but it was I mean, the topics were something that we covered in A2SV already, and for like the actual experience in Google, you just get to see like what development is like in a much like bigger picture. You'll get to see like how product is developed in A2SV in the second education phase. You'll have like you'll get to work with like team lead, task management, different tools for version control, and like different tech stacks. And the same thing happens in Google, but like with much I mean much bigger code, a lot of people, and yeah, that's my experience in Google, and I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you. That was pretty thorough, and thank you. But I believe those were my questions, and I wanted to get those out of the way because uh, the idea of you sharing your experiences so that the students can engage with you. So guys, this is your chance. Ask Henon whatever you would want her to answer. Questions. Any questions that you guys want to ask of maybe how the food is at A2SV, or how the food is at Google, I mean, and how's the weather, how's the weather there, and everything. You guys can ask everything.
Fral, maybe
Okay.
I can break the ice.
Okay.
Henno, can you please tell us like what type of things you have seen professionally done at Google, and how do you think like at A2SV we can actually step up our game? Because like you've seen many great engineers from all over the world doing things with great practices, right? It's definitely one of the best engineering companies in the world. So like, can you please tell us like what did you learn there, and how do you think at A2SV we can bring our game to that level?
Um, I don't know, like, thank you for the question, Embry, but I don't really know. Like, I've always kind of seen the similarities that we have at A2SV, and like the similarity that they have when it comes to product development in Google. Maybe I think I need much more time to to answer this question. So like, I'll think about it and let you know.
Well, no, no, like we can be more concrete because I want to hear things related with engineering. You have already seen those. For example, code reviews. Like, did you ever give a code review? And when you were reviewing another person's code, how much time did you spend?
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that you mentioned like code reviews, I think the code reviews are more, I mean, they are really more tough in Google because like they wouldn't let you add a single blank space like unnecessarily. And that's really good. And it's not just about blank spaces. I mean, they also have like they see your code really critically. That you might be using certain kind of functionality or a certain kind of library, and they'll be like, "Why are you using this library? It's good, but we have a better one because this one has this. Go read this." People put like a lot of effort and time to do code reviews, and I think that that actually helps the person that's getting reviewed and like the reviewer too, because like uh, you're accumulating knowledge like both ways. And I think the time we take at A2SV to at least as in the second year education, I think it would be nicer if we took more time for reviewing code and if we are more critic about it.
Very sound suggestion, Henon. Henon, thank you very much. One last question. Like, how about testing, documentation, and comments? Like, what did you see there when you look at the code base? Was there good documentation? Are there comments? Like, can you please also tell about like testing those three things? Comments, documentation, and testing.
Okay, so about documentation, one thing I saw is like documentations are not really stable in Google. At least for my project, my documentation have to be changed 3 or 2 times. I remember even, and when I open those documentations, they have a lot of comments and people just don't hold back at all. And the fact that like the products end up being awesome or they end up being implemented in like an inefficient and like in an efficient way is like the fact that they take time to do documentation and they do documentation again and they never get tired of doing documentation at some point. But like, and yeah, there are lots of comments on the documentation, but like yeah, I think they do more redoing of documentations and lots of comments on per documentation. And that's what I noticed. That's different from like it was. And when it comes to testing, um, in A2SV, I think in the second year education, I got to work on like some unit tests and all, but I never worked on like integration tests. Uh, and one thing I think I worked on in Google was like integration tests, and like they test everything literally. The only thing they don't test is like I don't know, something like proto files or like JSON files, but they need tests for everything. So, and I think pairing tests with, I mean, pairing every code with like tests is like really great, um, a really great way to do like development, because like I remember doing like coding and the second year development, and we were kind of doing like the tickets separately for the tests and for the actual code. But I think pairing them together and making the code much smaller is like better. And that's it. I hope I answered your question, Embry.
100% Henon. This is quite useful. And this year we also have integration testing in the curriculum. So integration testing is going to be something our teammates hopefully will learn. But I'm so glad, like you mentioned, the importance of these best practices, because as you said, we want to see more of these at A2SV this year in development. Like we started the efforts from core dev, now we bring it to the second year education as well. Like we want to really do things in a more professional manner, and hopefully you guys are going to make that happen. So Henon, this was really helpful. I hope all our members were listening. This was very insightful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Embry. And thank you, Frau.
Okay, so I think we have a question, Helen. So John, there's a question. Yeah,
Uh, is it
John.
in like, okay.
Uh, John, was that a question? We can't quite hear you.
Yes, I sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
My question is that at Google, do you do test-driven development, and how is it like?
Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. My question is that sorry. At Google, do you do test-driven development, and how is it like? If you did,
Uh, did you say like a test
did you
driven?
write tests? I mean, did you write tests to for the code that you write? Test.
Oh yeah, you said test driven development. Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, they have like this system like it needs certain developers of in your team and like certain people to approve your code before it gets submitted in the repository. So like when these people review your code, if it has no taste, they're going to tell you to do the taste. And I mean, it's not even something talked about. It's something that's a must do. You must have a test with your code, unless your code only, I don't know, consists of some untestable files. Like I was talking to Embry, like I don't know if it's just a JSON file, you cannot test it. But like for every code, even if it's like a small one, you need a test for it, and that's a that's their best practice.
So, what
Um,
language did you write in? Did you code in?
What language? What did you say? I'm
I mean,
sorry.
what language? What programming language did you use?
Uh, I use Java in Google, and yeah, that it's Java, and then they have like it was more of like my role was like a backend development role. I used Java to implement RPCs, and I I used like for the database it was Spanner, but like they have like there are some things that I don't have to say. But yeah, it was like Spanner for the database, and it was Java for the normal RPC development.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
okay, another question that I saw in the the question stuff is what do you think made Google give you an interview?
Uh, okay, but what do you think made Google give you an interview? That's a good question, and I would like to know that too because I don't really know. But I would like to think. I would like to think there is no reason for the recruiter to give me the interview because uh, of many reasons. But I would say like the reason was like not giving up probably because like I was applying to a bunch of places, but that doesn't mean like you don't have to put in the work. I would say I try to refine my CV every now and then. I just don't use my CV for many application over and over, but I do some applications and then I try to see the feedback. Or if there's no feedback, I try to refine it, make something better, and then I try to use it for the later one. I don't know if that's the right um, answer for your question. And the first one says, "What's your main tech stack?" I don't know. Like it used to be like before a year ago. It used to be like .NET because like that's what we did at A2SV in second year education, and now it's more of next. I don't know. And it's there is nothing called as like what's your main tech stack. It's something that changes like every now and then, as long as you keep your mind open and as long as you have projects to do. And I hope I answered this question. And if I'm not answering it right, you can like say, "Hey, can you answer this question? You didn't answer it for me." So the other question is, was the second year education at it was helpful for getting internship at Google? If so, if it was, how? yeah, it was definitely helpful for me because I really, even though like I interned at Escalate previously and had like an experience with like doing development, it really got me to see like how like development goes in a formal way. It was no longer like just learning; it was like getting to interact with those skilled people and uh, getting to know like what they know and at the same time to work more on what I already know. So like it made me confident in my skills, and yeah, I think that was how it helped, and I hope I answered your question now. And for the last one, I said, did you interview for Poland specifically or for the? Okay, I answered your question. Uh, did you interview for Poland specifically or for the whole Europe? Then went to team matching. So like everyone was like asking me this question. I don't think there's such a thing as like I don't know when you applied it might say Poland, but like I don't remember the interview where it's like saying it's for the Google office. Uh, but like it's general, and then at the end of the day when you are then like completing the interviews, they have this process called team matching where they will match you with like a team based on your skills and what the team needs. So that's when you know your options. At least that was the case for me. um, I didn't specifically apply for Poland. And the last one for Mariam, uh, what is the thing you learned at Google that A2SV do that's preventing them from securing internships? What's the thing you learned? I would say nothing, because uh, at the end of the day, like you might have done like really great projects and you might have dedicated your time to becoming adept when it comes to DSA and interviews. But at the end of the day, before you even get to go to the interview, you get to be screened by like a bunch of like recruiters, and for that to happen, these recruiters that I'm talking about, they're like software engineers. They might not know like uh, what skills like are really important, what project is what, and everything. And they only have like a specific amount of time. They only put a specific amount of time to get a review of a CV. So I would say the fact that the only thing preventing us like from getting more offers is the fact that we're from third world, and yeah.
Okay, cool. That was actually you answered this question with thoughtfully. So thank you for that, Henon, and thank you for taking the time. Uh, But I
Okay,
think the queue. Yes, thank you very much. So we planned on having this, but I think the Q&As are going as they are right now. So maybe we're probably gonna be coming back to this later on. So maybe let's move on to conclusive remarks by our very own Abed again, software engineer at Google. I believe he was in the meeting, so you are here, right? So, yeah, Abel is with us. So I'm gonna just leave the stage for him to say whatever he wants, introduce himself. The stage is yours, Abel.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Uh, well, hello everyone. I'm Abel. I'm software engineer at Google, and I've been a software engineer at Google for about 2 and some months, like 2 years and some months. I'm one of the first ever students from the first batch from A2SV, and yeah, and like when I remember how we started, how everything started. Um, it- it's just a very interesting story to tell everyone. Because like when I remember myself starting at A2SV, and I never thought that I would reach to this point, especially you know, considering our background and the whole concept of data structuring algorithm was a whole new thing. And I mean, first, like when I started to learn, and I was like, am I gonna make it? I don't think so. But like, you know what? It's fine. I'll just, see what it holds. And through time, through the whole experience, I managed to learn a lot. I managed to achieve a lot. And finally became one of the first 3 students who secured internship at Google, which was crazy to me because I never thought that I would reach to this point, considering my beginnings. All right. So first of all, I would like to say congratulations to all of you for becoming one of the students who gets to experience, who gets to go through this process, because things actually happen at A2SV. It's not something that we people just talk about or like promises something that does not get fulfilled. I mean, we are the living proof that the real impacts of A2SV. So I would like to say congratulations to all of you for becoming a part of this cause. And second thing is, I mean, A2SV is not just about securing positions in big tech companies like Google or Bloomberg or so many. A2SV is it's all about the experience. One, you get the best friendship out of the experience. You get to work with and learn with really smart people around you. And I think one of the best experiences I've had throughout the whole experience would be I got to know people who are really smart, who made me better than I was before, who made me, achieve and also get the best out of myself, which really helped me to survive in the whole environment at Google. Because when I first joined Google, it was super overwhelming, because I get to work with like really smart people who are like, really selected from the whole world. And I was like, you know what? I worked with smart people before, which is A2SV. And that gave me the real confidence that I needed to succeed in Google. Because, it's the experience that actually makes you a better person. It's not just the outcome. All right. It's all about the process. So I think you had the chance to experience, you had like a great chance to experience this. And I think that's like a huge achievement by itself, because it's not just about securing positions. It's all about becoming a better version of yourself, figuring out like what your potentials. I mean, to be honest, to be successful in the whole tech environment, you don't need to be hired by big tech companies technically. Like if you know your worth, if you know what you're capable of, then you'll even become much more successful by yourself, by creating different solutions to the real life problems. So I think like you have already achieved the most important thing in life, which is get to know yourself better, know your potential, and also get to work with really smart people. So I want to say congratulations to that. And also I want to say this is not just, this is just the beginning. Consistency is the key to everything, not just securing positions to big tech companies, but like throughout your whole life. Because like I think for my case specifically, consistency has been the main thing that helped me achieve a lot of things. All right. So keep being consistent with your efforts. Keep being consistent with your like preparation for your interviews. And I hope every one of you will achieve what you really want in life. You might be securing positions in big tech companies. It might be, becoming an entrepreneur in your own way. And also it might be becoming a part of a solution which really greatly impacts real life problems. So yeah, I want to say congratulations to all of you. I hope all of you will achieve what you're looking for. And me personally, from my personal experience from A2SV, I know for sure that all of you will end up in a great place, because A2SV does not just bring people who are not ambitious or who does not have the potential to be great. I know, like, by default, it's guaranteed that you guys all are very smart, very talented. All what's required from you is just to keep being consistent with your efforts. And definitely, I think you guys gonna make a great engineers in the future. So yeah, I wanted to close my remarks by saying congratulations, and I really hope and wish you all the best things in the world, and also wish you the best with your interviews. And for sure, like, for anyone who's interested to get to know, like, who have like questions or reach out, please, you can reach out to me through LinkedIn, and I'm happy to answer any question that you guys might have. Right. So thanks so much for having me, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Ebu, for that thoughtful, closing remark. But again, if you guys have any questions, this is an opportunity for you guys to ask us, software engineer at Google, a Google engineer, anything that you guys want to know, anything about Google, how where he works, what team, what product he works on, any questions, guys?
Maybe Fikra. Oh, okay, yes. Fikra Mariam, please.
Okay, Fikram, Adam, yeah.
I think the same question that I had passed with to Hanan would apply for our guest. I think it would be better if you shared us your journey at applying. I think these days getting the internship is becoming far in the far. I don't know why. The closest we get, the furthest it seems to. Uh, so I think it would be nice if you shared us your application journey after it received to Google.
So is the question about how I did get the interview opportunity, or like the whole interview process?
I think both will work out.
Yeah, I mean, so I get that, like, it might be challenging these days, especially where there's no like stability in the whole tech world. You guys hear a lot about like layoffs and everything. So yeah, I mean, there might be challenges, but there are still positions like there. I mean, internships, especially. I think it's much easier with internships than full-time positions, especially these days. So I mean, I would say keep applying for the positions. I mean, like, we all applied from the first batch until we follow the same procedure that you guys are following as well. But like, I don't know, like, if I don't have any insider information or anything about like how the recruitment process is currently. Uh, but yeah, but what I can tell you is, like, I can give you some information about like how my interview process was, and also if you guys need any tips on how you should do the interview once you get the interview opportunity. So when it comes to that, like, there are a few things that I would recommend during your interview. Number one, before starting the interview, I would say try to relax, take a deep breath as much as you can to just relax. Then second thing is, try to first, your main approach should be understanding the question really well. So if you don't get the question right, you're not going to get the solution right. So make sure to you understand the question really well. Ask all the necessary questions that you need to ask. You're expected to ask questions, so asking a question is not a bad thing. It's always a good plus, and it will also help you to understand the edge cases really well. And third thing that I would recommend is try not to think and speak at the same time, because that can be tricky. Because like if you're just trying to think and speak at the same time, then you might not be able to express yourself really well. So what I did for my case was I always ask like, okay, first I make sure I got the question right, and second I ask like, give me 2 minutes to think about like a potential solution. And I take my 2 minutes. I wouldn't take more than 2 minutes, because you need to update your interviewer about your thought process, because that's the main thing that they're really interested in. So I say, give me 2 minutes to think about this. I take my 2 minutes. I came up with like some proposal. I might not reach to the solution right away. That is okay. But right after my 2 minutes, I express all the things that I'm thinking, because I need to keep my interviewer up to date about like how I'm thinking, and let the interviewer know about my thinking process. So I explain my whole the whole thing that I was thinking about. And if I did not reach to the solution right away, I ask for another 2 minutes after I explain myself how I'm thinking, and then take the 2 minutes to think about like how I can optimize or find the solution or anything. So just take these 2 minutes to think about like whatever your solution one, I mean, finding you or to find your solution, and update your interviewer right away and explain your thought process. Don't stay silent for too long, because they want to know what you're thinking, and your thought process is the most important thing. Because sometimes like the question might be very difficult, but like if you are on the right thought process, and you might not get like the most efficient solution, that's okay. But like if you really put like a great impression about how you have a great thought process, then you might still make it after the interview. So take 2 minutes, explain, 2 minutes, explain, 2 minutes, explain. I mean, that was my strategy, and which worked. So yeah, try not to speak and think at the same time. And lastly, I was thinking some thought process, ask your questions, explain really well, and also like use that opportunity to ask like another, like at the end of your interview they will ask you about like what any interesting question that you might have for them, and use that opportunity to ask really good questions about like what kind of teams are there in Google, how do they work, how the working process looks like, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, this would be the thing that I would give you as tips. Yes, Ramare.
Yeah, Salam
So like the one thing that I want to listen from the experienced developer at Google is how do we shall filter out the applications? There are a lot of opportunities published in a lot of platforms nowadays. So which ones are suitable for third world country like us, and which one are really for juniors like fresh graduates?
For
So,
full time or for internship?
I think we are looking for internship as a student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, internship positions. I mean, I mean, when the positions are posted, it's not really that really affected by third world countries or first world countries and stuff like that. It's open for everyone. So I would say like definitely apply for like every position that you see on the opening positions. So apply for every position that you find there. Right now, like I would say the probability of like especially like in Europe, I think it has much more probability than in the US, because the US is a bit more expensive, and also the whole visa process is a bit like might be a bit hard to get like internship in the US. So I would say, I mean, still apply for it, but Euro positions are like they have much better success rate than the US. So I definitely recommend to apply more in Europe. Um, and also like I think there's also the Ghana office, so definitely apply for that. We had two people in Ghana who transferred to London recently, so definitely apply for that. And maybe like after some time, like you can also, I mean, if you're a full-time engineer, then you can also request transfer to Europe. So I wouldn't say like don't ignore that as well. But yeah, definitely apply for every position that you find on the platform.
Okay, thank you, Ego, for that. Emre, did you have a question for Abel, by the way?
Yes. Abel, brother, I just want you to share one memory from group one. Like what
Okay.
comes to your mind? One memory that you
Our,
want to
our
share with our
moonwalks.
members.
Our moonwalks, obviously. So we used to do we used to do these moonwalks where I think around 5 p.m. So we get paired up with like one person and we just talk about everything, literally like about like interesting problem that we found, and also about life. So many discussions that comes on the moonwalk. So it was such a great way to connect with people and get to know each other at better level, and also like learn a lot from people personally as well. Because this, I mean, like you take classes as a whole. I mean, there are lectures and you solve problems together, but like this one-on-one time also helps you to get like a specific notes and things that you will learn from a single person. You get the advantage of like getting to know that person with like better level, and also like learn a lot from that person. So I definitely miss and loved our moonwalks back in the days. And I always wonder how we came up with the name moonwalks as well. But it's just it's a good name as well.
Well, Abel, at Liftoff, they were calling it moonwalks. Frankly
Okay, okay.
speaking, I don't know the story behind,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
was, yeah. So credits goes to Liftoff on that one.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. I
Okay,
think I saw some questions on the chat as well. Can someone read it to me?
yes, I can. So it's a line of questions, interesting line of questions. So the first one says, I've heard that you have some products available on Google Play. Could you share the current status of those products?
Ah, I mean, so I built those up when I was, I think, third year student or second year, second semester. And I ignored, I mean, after that, like I got busy with a lot of things, and I ignored my Google Play account for a very long time. And I mean, you need to maintain your Google Play console to, with to like align with different policy updates. And I didn't, and because of that, like they banned my Google Play on the plan. Like when I get time, I'm gonna republish them again. It was just a couple of apps. Like one was Ethiopian newspaper, where you get to read local Ethiopian newspapers online, so that like people have different sorts of information. And the second and third one are like students and teacher app, where you can manage your classes. It reminds you before your class starts, and also like keep track of your assessment records in school. So yeah, but like I don't think they're not currently available in Play Store, and it's my fault. But definitely, I'll probably republish them again.
Ah, cool. Second question goes like this. Do you have any plans for developing new products in the future?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm actually working on like So the thing about working at Google is, I mean, you get the chance to experience a lot of, to get like a lot of knowledge and working with like really smart people, and also you become better. But also, I mean, if you get too comfortable, then you might be a bit, out of shape compared to the rest of the world when it comes to tech stacks and different technologies. So I definitely work on my own personal project. And yes, I'm currently also working on my own personal project. So definitely on
Okay.
this.
Last problem actually goes on with the second and first problem question too. In your opinion, how valuable is it to have real world or deployed projects when seeking employment in high tech companies?
Yeah, so for internship, you're not expected to have built like some really complex or big stuff in real life. Like make sure that you get involved in really interesting school projects, because that's what really matters on your project matching. On project matching phase, like they will ask you like what experience do you have, and what are the things that you have done while being in school. So school projects are really important. So I would say make sure that you build like some interesting school projects that have like a proper impact, like potentially proper impact. And also for full time as well, you're not expected to have like real life fancy projects or worked in fancy companies, because you are like graduate, like you're applying for graduate positions. So you're not expected to have like industrial experience. Therefore, like just make sure that throughout your uni time and your like while you're in uni, to be involved in a very interesting projects. That's what really matters when it comes to project matching. Um, and also like on your CV as well. But like you're definitely not expected to have like industrial experience and do some fancy industrial projects.
Okay, I think those are like those are quite great answers. Thank you, Ego, for that. Okay, there's one additional question for full-time position. In what should I focus to prepare for interviews? Let's say, for example, is there are there? I think the question sums up as, are there like topics, they say topics that come up quite often in interviews?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I couldn't suggest like, oh, these topics are come more often and stuff. Like make sure you prepare really well with data structure and algorithm. Second, communication skill. That's very important. Third, your design, like system design skills, because that's also a part of the interview process. So these are the main things. Like do like make a good preparation with data structure and algorithms, go a good preparation with system design, and also make sure that you have a good communication skill, because you need to explain yourself really clearly so that like your interviewer um, gets your point clearly. Otherwise, like if you're not able to express yourself really well, then you might fail uh, to explain yourself, and the interview might not go well. So these are the things, three things: system design, data structure, and communication skill.
Okay, thank you, Ego, for taking the time to give us a very cool closing remark and for answering questions in such thoughtful manner. Thank you, and thank you
Thanks
guys
so
for
much for
the
having me.
yeah, thank you guys for the questions. Also, we're about to finish our onboarding kickoff. Sorry. So, but finally, maybe kind of a closing remark coming from me. As Emre said earlier, we, whatever that we're trying to do here at A2SV, the only way that we can do it is together. Right? And the best way to create that collaboration and that team spirit is to understand and to accept that we're in the same ship, right? Whatever we're trying to do, we can either do it together and or we can all fail together, right? It's either together or not do it at all. So one thing that I want you guys to understand, what I actually come to learn every day here at A2SV, especially the past few months, is we're either gonna do what we set out to do together or we're gonna fail together. There is no gray area when it comes to, especially in regard with what we're trying to do here at A2SV. We're either gonna make the impact that we're setting out to do together, or we're gonna fail altogether. There's not gonna be like some good impact, some not. The impact that we're gonna do is huge, and there is no way, at least from where I look at it, there is no way that we can do that um, while now being together. So let's understand we're in the same ship and own it. When it comes to owning it, on your side as students, on our side as heads of education and as mentors, it's gonna be by providing you guys with the tools, with the mentorship that you guys need to make the impacts to achieve the impacts that you want to achieve in your life, in your personal life, and in around you, the people around you, with your peers and stuff. So we give you guys the tools and we show you guys how to use them, and we're gonna be there every step of the way. With you guys, everything that we do is gonna be justified by, it's gonna only be justified by how much you guys appreciate and how much you guys show us that you appreciate what we're trying to do here by doing what's necessary. Don't worry, we're gonna show you guys what to do, but it's the impact that we want to do and the things that we want to do here are gonna need more than a set of instructions or manuals that we give you guys to do it, tasks we give you guys to do. It's gonna require you guys to take an extra step and to go an extra mile to achieve and realize things that are bigger than yourself. So I want you guys to take a step or to take a minute to think about where you are right now as being one of the best students in the continent, having the chance to do this amazing thing for yourself and for the people that are around you and for the continent, and quite frankly for the world too. And if you guys can, if you guys do have this chance, don't waste it. Understand that we're in this together. We're with you guys, whether it's us, whether it's your peers, whether it's Emre or other alumni that we have at TTSV, we're in this together. Either we're gonna sail together far or we're gonna sink together, because a ship that sinks is gonna take everybody on board with it, right? So it's not gonna be an adventurous story where you guys make it, because we're in the middle of the ocean right now, which is the impact that we started making it. I mean, we've been sailing in this boat for a year, right? Let's take it another year, and then by that time we're gonna have more experience on how to sail a boat, and maybe after that, maybe who knows, we can sail faster, we can sail more elegantly, and as we do right now. But as well as we, so let's say we can always do better, right? So Emre, anything that you want to say? I'm done on my part.
Raul, you have beautifully said. I was really, enjoy listening you. You did a great job, and this is a great quote to choose for this event. We are all in the same ship team, and if you own it, this ship is going to continue sailing to the great, great destinations. And if we stick together, we can go further, we can go faster. I believe in this team. We have done so many great things, and we are going to continue doing great things together. Thank you. See you, team.
So guys, tomorrow is gonna be first the day of business, as every Wednesdays, and we're gonna be having the sessions. We're gonna be starting the lectures. We're gonna be communicating everything through your email, and personally, we're gonna be reaching out to you guys, whether it's in all communication channels that we have. Um, Yes, so the lecture times. So with in regard with so currently it has come to my attention from some of you guys that with the current month being the Holy Ramadan month, you guys might need to, we might need to restructure the time so that, as you guys remember, we did this last year to accommodate you guys, and we might actually consider doing it now. But the lecture times, they're gonna be as usual. The remote education time from 8 p.m. in the night, 8 p.m. Eastern African time to 11 p.m. Eastern African time. But if there is any, A2SV is, if anything, A2SV is flexible, right? So there is a flexibility with regard to, as long as you guys can make it there, we can have it maybe earlier as we had it last year, and you can accommodate different things. So we're gonna be communicating the details in the groups that we have. But if it's for Ramadan, we can collect some interest forms and we can restructure the people so that we can have it maybe earlier on and stuff. So we're gonna be communicating this further through the heads of education and through announcements and stuff. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, everything. I hope everything goes as smoothly as possible. We're gonna be doing everything we can to make things go as smoothly as possible, which I hope is gonna be the case moving forward. But yeah, anything that you guys want to know, let us know through the heads of education. And you guys know how to reach us, right? How you've been reaching us this whole time. And yeah, let's keep this enthusiasm going. And I hope everything's gonna be fun now that we're doing real life projects and everything. I don't see why it won't be fun, or I don't see why it won't be adventurous. And yeah, we don't miss it for the world. So everyone, if you guys don't have any questions, see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, be there on time. Good night, guys. Bye. Yes, Jonathan. Any question? Jonathan, any question you can ask? Oh, okay. If that was a high five, then good night.